I am so pleased to share with you the progress of the Watershed Volunteer Program over 2019 and 2020. This is a partnership program of Cleveland Metroparks, the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District, and West Creek Conservancy. It is currently staffed by myself, Jen Greiser, Director of Natural Resources, Lisa Moranti, the Watershed Volunteer Program Coordinator, and Brianni Turner, Citizen Science Assistant. You'll hear from each of us during today's presentation. Some of you may recall the mission of the Watershed Volunteer Program to enhance watershed stewardship throughout Northeast Ohio, not just in Cleveland Metroparks. We do this by increasing awareness, offering hands-on projects and monitoring activities. We encourage outreach beyond Cleveland Metroparks, and we offer leadership opportunities throughout the program. As you can see from this bar graph, our participation has generally hovered around 300 volunteers over the last 3 years. That's the blue bars. In the red, we're really pleased that in 2019, we topped the charts at over 4,300 hours of service. In 2019, we also achieved almost 200 certified watershed stewards, and we continue to have participation across a 7-county region. In those green dots, those are our certified watershed stewards, and you see we have quite a few around the Watershed Stewardship Center, but we even have a couple all the way in the Upper Cuyahoga watershed.
So taking a look back at 2019, we use this as a time to focus on celebrating with all of you the 50th anniversary from the last fire on the Cuyahoga River. We did this with a focus on outreach. So we trained about 37 of our volunteers to do a number of outreach events. We also had a number of folks that participated in the Master Rain Gardener program. So in 2019, we continued to see our emphasis engagement at a variety of different times throughout the year. 2020 certainly provided a different twist to things, in which we paused our program in March, resumed virtually in April, and then in person in May. So you can see throughout the quarters, we still have been able to engage folks in a variety of learning, monitoring, and restoration activities, and engagement levels have been steady for most of them, with the third quarter being a little bit more opportunities presented to folks. In 2020, we of course took this opportunity to refocus and engage folks in even more virtual ways. We took this opportunity to share with them videos and photos of work being done when they weren't able to be with us. And then for folks that were able to be with us either in person or virtually, we provided other virtual tours. In 2020, we also continued our focus and vision of being safe and continue to practice social distancing when we resumed activities in person. We provided opportunities throughout the entire summer and into the fall in a safe manner. Our stewards filled the gaps. They filled the gaps within green structure, like our green roof at Edgewater Beach House, as well as the gaps from our natural resources staff that were on a much more restricted schedule. So our volunteers continued to fill in the needs of natural resource management throughout Park District and beyond. They did this even when we weren't present with them. Many folks took the opportunity to participate in independent projects, such as invasive plant management, stream water quality monitoring, green infrastructure maintenance, and assisting us with a variety of administrative tasks. So one of those tasks was featuring a news article about a different watershed steward each month. So here's just some of the faces of the amazing watershed stewards that have been out participating with us for many, many years. And so we know that the faces of the Watershed Volunteer Program isn't just of those, it's of individuals that are funding and partnering with us, such as our friends here at the Watershed, the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District, and a variety of other funders and different watershed groups throughout Northeast Ohio. So we'll hear more about one of the programs the Cleveland Foundation has funded this year.
The Smart Citizen Science Initiative is a region-wide water quality monitoring program that was started by the Cleveland Water Alliance. The main goal of this program is to provide more opportunities to citizen scientists around the Lake Erie Basin. The program aims to make monitoring more accessible by implementing an easy-to-use, affordable spectrometer and data storage platform. The Cleveland Metroparks currently serves as a local champion for this initiative. So, what does water quality monitoring look like under this program? Monitoring consists of taking samples using this new EOS spectrometer and directly comparing the results to a lab-grade colorimeter. Our group of volunteers collected samples and monitored at several sites within the Euclid Creek and Rocky River watersheds. These samples were collected between the months of July and October. The figure below shows a graph of the phosphate collected within the Rocky River watershed using both devices. As you can see, the measurements from the EOS and the colorimeter vary, and most of the collected samples are above the phosphate TMDL limit of 0.9 or 19 milligrams per liter for the sites sampled within the watershed. Once the data was collected, volunteers then uploaded and stored their data in Water Reporter. In Water Reporter, volunteers can view their data in real time on an interactive map. In this example, volunteers can open the map and check the last recording at their site before they go sampling or while they're in the field. This is a useful tool because it provides volunteers with an easily viewable baseline for which to compare their data. As you can see, monitoring is a large component of the work that the Cleveland Metroparks does as a local champion. However, providing and distributing resources to volunteers is another important aspect. A few resources we've worked to develop this year are a centralized information port, as well as several trainings and workshops throughout the year. Our main goals for next year are to expand and share these resources with the Clean Water Alliance and other champions.
We wanted to take this opportunity to also share that how our friends at the Outdoor Experiences team are delivering quality watershed education programming. So in March, we brought on board a watershed educator, Peter Frank, who's continuing to provide that outstanding programming such as hikes, academy field trips, and more. The Watershed Stewardship Center continues to be a center of green and blue infrastructure. Some of the current practice activities here are removing our pervious pavers to allow for an ADA compliant surface, creating a water quality environmental dashboard in partnership with Oberlin College, and supporting professional development programming. So we want to thank you for tuning in to get an update about the Watershed Volunteer Program and the other work of watershed education at Cleveland Metroparks. We hope to talk to you soon.